The official topic of today's class is Noahide number 4 commandment, fifth, class 2, I believe, and we'll talk about the fascinating story of Tower of Babylon. Now let me proceed with some words, especially with those who may listen to us the first time. You know, the task of Noah is charged by God, if you want, to teach mankind the Noahide 7 commandments, that the charter of the movement, not to teach, but also to abide. Abide and teach the 7 commandments. Now, for that, you need to learn Torah. The question is, what kind of Torah? Where can you find the 7 commandments written as a group in a Torah? No such thing. So what kind of Torah you learn? And if you open up the Talmud and you search for the section that talk about the 7 commandments of Noah, what is bloodshed, what is idolatry, what all that, which comes first, which comes second, you won't find anything like that. You go through the huge rabbinical literature, vast ocean of rabbinical literature for the last 2,000 years, and you don't find anything related to Noahide. Of course, there is a reason for that, historical reason, but now that became more acceptable to the large community, so the question is now, okay, need to build the perception of the Noahide 7 commandments. So we need to focus on the commandment that relate to Noahide, not something that relates to you, to any Noahide person, rather than talking about something esoteric and mystical that has no relevance to our modern time and not to Noahide commandment at all. So in our class, this class, I've tried very hardly to focus only on the 7 commandments. And since I don't have any other source to go by, we went to the book of Genesis, where they are all presented. Surprisingly, those commandments are present in the book one by one, as if Moses actually wrote it with Noahide on his mind. It's unbelievable how the commandments are written in such a way. I mean, how the book is written in such a way. So the book tells you where the commandment came from Eden. The 6th commandment came from Eden. Only 6. The rest, number 7, 8, 9, 10, came after Eden, through the book of Genesis and up to Sinai. So that's what we are doing. And Moses wrote it in, not only Moses present the commandment one by one through the book of Genesis, but also each time he pick up a commandment, he described how mankind failed over it and how stumbled over it, a bad time, and how each time that humanity failed on a commandment, on one commandment at a time, God in his mercy and kindness sent us precious souls of people that help humanity climb up from this terrible mishap and depression, and taught humanity how to overcome that failure of this particular commandment, one commandment at a time. And not only that, but God also entered a treaty or covenant with each one of those figures. It was, we're talking about Noah, then Abraham, then Jacob, then Joseph. So, and Joseph and his brothers. So each time humanity failed in the story of one commandment, God actually entered a covenant, a new covenant to start fresh. And with this new commandment, he also introduced a new commandment, which came to support the one which was failed. It's an unbelievable story. And that's the core of what Noahide, what we can learn as Noahide about the seventh commandment. And each time you do this, you learn more and more in depth what the commandment is all about, what exactly happened when the mankind failed, why, and from that you can learn or reflect on our own time how we should behave, how we should not fail, and what should we do in order to win the challenge of those commandments and to overcome the failure, and to stick what the Torah tells us, to stick what Noah tells us, what Abraham tells us, what Jacob is telling us, to overcome those failures. So, for instance, we just finished talking about humanity failing over bloodshed that culminated with the flood, terrible bloodshed, and the Torah explained in detail how it started and what could happen when it started again. Like, just to remind you, the Torah goes all the way to describe you how humanity is split into two groups, like today, one worshiping mercy, one worshiping Elohim, justice, and fighting to each other to the death. This story is not incidental. It's Noah was fear that it will repeat itself. And you look around, it's all here. All here. The vicious children of Elohim, or that they were cruel. You see, you just saw it 2 weeks ago in Gaza. No mercy. So this bloodshed is coming back now, and the story has ended with the Rainbow Covenant, which is a flag of Noahide movement. The Rainbow Covenant. So what is the Rainbow Covenant all about? And we talk about it. It's all based on bloodshed laws. You cannot find any other place in the Torah or in the Bible or anywhere, not in any human literature, this detailed description of all kinds of bloodshed that can happen, as it is described in Rainbow Covenant. All sorts, 7 sorts of bloodshed. And by doing this, the Heavenly Court also not only entered a new covenant with Noah, promising him that the next time the flood will not come back so soon, there will be more mercy in the world as he prayed for. But the Heavenly Court also introduced a new commandment, number 7, one above Adam. And this is Noahide number 7 commandment, which prohibits the consumption of blood and a living limb and a limb torn from a living animal. Obviously, this commandment is not in limbo. It came to support mankind's struggle against cruelty. Don't drink blood. If you don't want to shed blood, don't drink it. don't enjoy drinking blood. If you want to overcome your cruelty, teach yourself not to eat, consume a limb from a living animal. That's sheer cruelty. So number 7, which is actually the main, the core of the Noahide movement, the reason that the Noahide movement exists is number 7, which telling humanity, teaching humanity to overcome bloodshed by sticking to God's laws and covenant and rainbow covenant, and to follow the 7 commandments. There is no kosher food. There is no kosher food in relation to this commandment. So number 7 came to support the failing of over number 3, to support the struggle against transgressing number 3. Number 7 helped to support Noah's fight against bloodshed, which is number 3. So 7 support 3. In that token, now we move on in the story that we are now. Moses continued to describe humanity, failing now over number 4, the next one. From bloodshed 3, we move to number 4, which is theft. Yes, and describe a big failure, and how Abraham came about. How God sent precious soul of Abraham to struggle against it and to introduce a new commandment, to teach us who is God, and teach us why theft is forbidden, and that's circumcision. So it is one above Noah 7, number 8, and that the Rambam counted as number 8, and that's why it's also forbidden. It's also conducted on day 8, at the childbirth. After the 8th day, you have to wait. Everything about commandment, after anything about circumcision, revolve around 8, because it's 1 over the 7. But by doing this story, the Torah not only kind of technically tell you, okay, there is another commandment. It tells you everything you need to know about theft and why it's forbidden. What's the fault in it? It's not just another commandment that God told me I need to keep. I need to know why. What prompted mankind to commit it? And also we mentioned last time that here with Abraham we are dealing with organized theft. Noah generation also knows theft on a small individual term, like mugging in the street, gangs, invading people's home, two kind gangs, vicious gangs, from the children of Elohim, vicious children of Elohim. Like we saw in Gaza, invading people's home and doing everything evil, but on a small case, individual case, which could be very huge, but individual level. Whereas in Abraham, there is a new phenomenon. As Moses described it, it's Abraham fought against organized theft. Mankind stumbled now over theft big time, much more than in Noah. Armies were invented to move around, grab people and the territory, subject them to slavery, organized theft. All the stories of Abraham, we go over them one by one, And they all revolve around this issue. And then it culminates with the Abraham and his circumcision. So the circumcision tell us, we've discussed, they don't know exactly what it tell us, to enhance his stance against this kind of stealing. It's more than that, but we'll discuss it. It will be very clear to you. So that's we are going now. We are moving in our class from Noah. We finish with Noah bloodshed, the flood, and we move on to Abraham and theft. And the Torah, in his wisdom, presents us a section, small section, that seems like it doesn't belong here, but it does very much belong here. And that's about the Tower of Babylon. What it has to do anything with what we're talking about? So the Tower of Babylon, I'll proceed it right away. We describe our empire, how mankind discovered empire, and how mankind discovered the art of invading other countries, stealing property, slaves, organized theft. All started with this magnificent Tower of Babylon. Now, I know that there are many ways to make an interpretation of this story. If you read the commentary, there are endless attempts to explain it. All of them I find, I'm nothing against it, but we in our class here, we go simply by the text. I pledge myself to stick to the simple explanation of the text, of the Hebrew simple explanation, without going into any esoteric, Kabbalistic, mythical explanation that could be very nice and attractive, but has nothing to do with my life. Whereas the simple text has very much to do with my life, and your life, and everybody else around our life. Esoteric text, it's nice to learn for scholars, but it doesn't mean anything to me or to normal people. So let's stick to the text and read it and see what Torah wants to teach us about the topic. So if we read it, if we go now to the text, and I read it to you, that soon after the flood, okay, the flood is over, we skip Noah mishap with the falling drunk on the ground we talking about last time. Actually, this section end up with the word curse of Canaan. Noah woke up from his drunkenness and he cursed Canaan. He said, a slave to a slave he will be. Oh, that's actually a headline. Headline to the new section. From now on, we'll talk about how slavery came about. So let's read it. So it says, Genesis 10:1. I'm not going to read all the entire story, just pick up some main point of the story. Read it. This is the story of the children of Noah. Wow, it says children of Noah, Bnei Noah. This is the first time that the term Bnei Noah appear as referring to mankind. Right here. The story of mankind, today mankind. After Noah is our father of all of us. So we are all children of Noah. So our history as children of Noah appear here. We're not talking about Noah anymore, but the children of Noah. We're still around, still living there in the story, but obsolete, kind of drunk. Nobody pay attention to him. The focus is on children of Noah, on you and me. Shem, Ham, and Yefet, to them were sons born after the flood. So, after introducing the children of Noah, the Torah described the 70 nations, the famous 70 nations of Noah's children. All of them came from the three children, Shem, Ham, and Yefet. It's not our topic right now in detail, but those 70 nations are the putative and the symbol of Noahide nation in the world. And they spread all over the world. And with them, and I'm going to add, in order to illustrate, at some point I have no choice but to use some legendary material. The legend I bring about is not that I believe I stick to their reality as a written text. Legend is a legend. But they were told by the rabbis to illustrate points. And could be there also some there's truth in them, but that's mystical. But the legend were told to bring up some points. So here, along with the 70 nations of Noah, spread all the world, here come the Midrash and said at the same time in heaven too were formed. They were formed. Each nation formed an angel. So there were now 70 angels, a choir of 70 angels in the world, in heaven, that wake up every morning chanting, holy, holy, holy. The world is full of glory. And they start chanting in heaven at the sunrise over east of Asia. And as the sun moved to the west, other nations wake up one by one. And so the choir, each time 3 angels chant, holy, holy, holy. Each angel chant one holy. And 3 of them, holy, holy, holy. And so until the sun make a complete circle. This beautiful description, poetic description, will play a major role when we talk about Jacob and Esau. Remember, Esau, the angel wrestled with the angel of Esau at night. In the morning, the angel asked him, Jacob overcame him in the morning, and the angel begged him, I need to go. So Rashi says there, well, where does the angel have to go? He has to return back to the choir. So that angel actually blessed Jacob and changed his name to Israel. Well, we'll talk about it. So that's an important part of the story. So along with the 70 nations, okay, along with the 70 nations that form 70 angels that chant every morning. Now, as the Torah continued to count the 70 nations, it focuses on one person, Nimrod. I think it's 4:8, and it says one person, Nimrod, and the Torah says, in Cush begot Nimrod. And why Nimrod? Because this is a guy that instigated the Tower of Babylon. So it's an important member of our story. And Cush begot Nimrod. Cush is the son of Noah, a grandson of Noah. Cush, Ham, and Ham begot Cush. Cush became the leader of the nations, and this Cush begot Nimrod, this famous Nimrod. Here, the Torah continue, and let's pay attention to what the Torah says about him. He was the first to be mighty on earth. He was mighty hunter before Hashem. Therefore, it is said that Nimrod is a mighty hunter before Hashem. Three times the Torah tells us that Nimrod was mighty. I don't know anybody else in the entire Torah, in the Bible, that Torah spent time telling us such a story. That he was mighty, 3 times mighty. Nimrod was a mighty what? A mighty person, a mighty hunter, and a mighty hunter repeats itself twice. Hunter, not of animals. Before Hashem, killing animals is not a virtue in the eyes of the merciful Hashem. The Torah says he was a hunter. It didn't mean it. Torah doesn't mean that he was mighty, his muscle, or he shoot his arrows against the animals. That wouldn't be called mighty person, hunter before Hashem. It's a special meaning. So what is a special meaning? So here come again the legend, the rabbis, and fill us the gap. And tell us about the 3 levels of Nimrod. All of them are very important to the story of the tower. You won't understand the tower without knowing what it means. So the first description, he was a mighty on earth. He was the first to be mighty on earth. It doesn't say what mighty. The rabbi said mighty personality. He was an integrated fellow. Even as a young person, he was a beautiful, tall, outside and inside. We don't know his skin color. His father Cush, they say, was kind of black, maybe, because Cush is the father of all the African races. So could be that this Nimrod was maybe brown, maybe black. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But he was a beautiful guy, even as a child. Why it's important? The rabbis asked. Because because he found faith in the eyes of Noah. There are 3 descriptions here, 3 mighty, each one lead to the other. So the first mighty, he had a mighty personality. And Noah and Nama loved him. They sense that he is something special. They saw him clearly apart from all the other children of Cush and all mankind. This guy was gifted. He was also compassionate. He loved the animal. And he loved mankind. And Nama loved him. So when he was a teenager, so to speak, he got a present, birthday present. Nama and Noach gave him the dress, the airy dress that you can understand animal language. What are these dresses? I have to remind you. When Adam and Eve were chased out of Eden, the last minute, it said that God gave him made for them dresses, airy dresses. Those dresses were given to them. Whoever wore them is rendered with the power of understanding the animal language, so to speak. He could communicate with animals and also with mankind, with other people, with mankind. So those airy dresses were given to Adam and Eve. They brought it down from Eden, the legend say, but there's a point here. And when Cain was exiled, okay, to no man's land, to live in the wood, his father Adam, his compassion, gave him a present. Oh, my son, you're going to live now naked in the wood. You need protection. Take this dress with you. And that dress helped him to move around in the wood. He could communicate. He communicated with no person for 7 generations, living apart as a punishment for his murderous act. But he could communicate with the dog, his ferocious dog, and with animals around him. So when finally 7 generations later, the prophecy was fulfilled, and Tubal-Cain, his own descendant, killed him, Cain. In the same way that Cain killed his brother, now his own descendant killed him. The cycle was closed. And when Cain fell dead with the arrow stuck on his head, the dress fell into the possession of whom? Tubal-Cain's sister, which is Noah, our mother Noah, and Noah. So Noah and Noah used the dress, so to speak, in the ark to help him. The dress helped him to cater for the animal. And now, at the older age, Nama and Noah turned to Nimrod. Here, our boys, take this, use it for good. We know that you're special, use it. And that rendered Nimrod the power of communicating with anyone. What's the point of the rabbi telling us? Because the power of Nimrod was completely based on his aura, on his mouth, as an orator, as a leader. Kingship, they say, it's not a sword. With a sword, you kill people. But with your mouth, you lead people. So the power of leading, the power of leadership, his kingship was his mouth. And he was such a good king, talented king, he could even rule over animals. He could communicate and lead even animals. So the legend continues saying that from there on, they saw Nimrod riding on lions and riding above the earth, sitting on eagle's wings. It later helped him, prompted him to build a tower. He knew how it looks from above. And so his nickname was a king of the animal. Nimrod, the king of the animal. But when time came to ascend on the throne, the same talent also led him the power to communicate and to understand the heart of every person before him. He could miraculously understand right away what people asked for him, what they wanted him, and he could attend to it and perform it and help the people. So people loved him. All the 70 nations. He said, Torah says at the beginning of his throne, of his kingship, was Akkad and Shinar and those cities in Babylon. This was only the beginning. Because at first he was a small king. But very soon they all realized how talented he is. They all loved him. And Midrash said that each nation thought of him as one of his own. He was able to communicate in such a way that he understood the whims and the wishes of every nation, and supply and attend the need. So this is the epitome of what he said: democratic, benevolent kingship. And that's Nimrod. And that all will change with the tower. So now the Torah moves on from Nimrod to his generation. And we're at chapter 11:1. And all the earth was one language and one matter. One language, Hebrew, one matter. They all had one issue. They want prosperity, peace. And they believe in one faith, in the seventh commandment. So they spread all over the world. Each family grabbed territory, a farm, empty land, border it. This is my home, this is my home. This is our nation home. And they settled in peace, recognizing each other border, even each nation border. There was a famous treaty of the 70 nations. And they grew, each family grew its own crop. And they own, so first of all, the ownership. Now, under the theft, under the issue of theft, remember our topic is theft. So the basic premise of theft is we need to acknowledge ownership. If there's no ownership, there's no theft. In Eden, there was no ownership. So there was no theft in Eden. But here on earth, you own things by what? You own land by settling in it. Until today, settling in the land actually establish your acquisition. Farm it, establish your acquisition. So they settle, they own it, and they produce things. So you became owner of things by producing. If you produce something, it belongs to you, and everybody recognizes. So here is a build-up of a notion of ownership and trading. We traded with each other. Trading became the most honorable occupation of the day. Canaan means a trader. So it was called Canaan because it's a trader. It's a very prestigious occupation. So establishing ownership. And ownership is the core of the issue of slavery later on. So here is the build-up of the notion of legal acquisition recognized by all nations. If you own land, if you sit on it, you produce crop on it, and you sell it, you trade it. We'll see in a minute another form of ownership, communal ownership with the Torah. So peace, and so here, what is the picture here? The Torah describes one language, no war, no contest, everybody recognizes each other, land, brotherhood. This treaty of 70 nations actually was so famous that later on in the story of Bilam and Balak, when Balak complained that Israel is at the border and going to cross the Jordan River to the land of Egypt, to the west bank, to the land of Canaan, He claimed, King Balak claimed in the eyes of Bilam that these people in Israel have no place to be here. They breach the ancient Noahide covenant of 70 nations. Rashi said that when he first meet Prophet Bilam, when he complained about Israel. Look at Rashi. Rashi said the first complaint he had, Israel they are non-civilized. They breached the ancient Noahide treaty, which is here. So piece of land, one language, the dream of United Nations come true. How is it possible then from such a tranquil, beautiful community that suddenly develop into empire, stealing and breaching the borders and slavery? How is it possible that mankind change for not too long after that? So here comes the Big Bang, a new technology. So the new technology, and it came to pass, that's 11:1-3. And it came to pass when they migrated from the east, they found a valley in the land of Shinar and settled there, and they said, man to his fellow man, come, let us make bricks and burn them to fire, and the bricks served them as stone, and the clay was to them to burn. So new technology. It changed their life. Instead of living on a small farm with a wooden hut or home, now they have bricks. They can build strong houses, villages, towns, streets, walls. Society is changing. Nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. And this change in technology made them even more proud. Now we can accomplish a beautiful thing. And they say to each other, let us build for us a city and a town with a top in the sky, so that we would make a name for ourselves, lest we scatter all over the earth. On the surface, there's nothing wrong. Let us build for us. Why not? We are powerful now to build now technology to build a city, a real city, big city with big towers. So how tall to reach the sky? Why not? And we will make a name for ourselves. Yes, building such a tower make us very important and very famous. Why not? I know that many midrash and so on try to put here all kinds of mystical ideas, but we stick to the simple meaning. Let us build for us. We like to own it. We own it. We will build the city for us. Ownership. And it's legally belongs to us because we make it, we build it. And we, by this, will make our name famous. Now, this idea brought them to conceive the tower. Now, the same. In order to understand what's going on, we can go to Egypt. Now, when you see the pyramid in Egypt, scholars actually argue, really, what is a pyramid? Does a pyramid express the social order of the day? Pharaoh at the top, and all the counselor behind him, and the worker at the very bottom. So the pyramid expresses the social structure of the era. Pharaoh at the top, and all the rest down. Or it is the other way around. That building the pyramid made the society in such a structure. Initially, it was not so. Scholars really say that. But initially, they conceived the pyramid. But building the pyramid forced them to bring people from all over. And young people flocked to them from all over with passion. They left the farm, with the Nile, they ran to the project where they could fed well, they had entertainment, they met other people at their age, and they had a wonderful time. They worked for the nation. They had suddenly a feeling what the nation is all about. They saw people from all over. So belonging to such a project is a merit. They did voluntarily. And they accepted voluntarily the hierarchy. Of course, to organize, to belong to such a group, you need leaders, you need more experts, and you need experts on top of the experts. And Pharaoh is on top there, but it is voluntarily. It is good. It is good for our society. Now we have kingdom, we have society, we have country. That actually, the building of the pyramid formed Egypt. And that's exactly what happened with the Tower of Babylon. Building the tower actually caused people to come forward and volunteer for it. Who instigated it? Nimrod. Nimrod was such an attentive person to human heart, as we said, and he knew what people talk to each other. Let us build for us. And he says, no, I don't. Why not? Build for you a tower that you can reach the heaven. I support it. But under his kingship, leadership, he was very talented organizer. So young people flock from all over. The same story in Egypt. And they spend their time on the tower. They have entertainment, they have food, they have hierarchy, and they learn to respect hierarchy. And but as the tower climb up, the status of Nimrod also climbed up. Like in Pharaoh in Egypt, he became like an immortal. He was sitting there his image was sitting there so to speak, on top of the tower. He was the one who issued commands, he was the ultimate communicator. His mouth, without using any sword, he ruled over the entire globe, because people flocked to him from all over. The tower was major endeavor. It took few generations to build. It was huge. It was a whole culture developed around it. We failed a few times, and they had to but they stuck to it. And his image as a leader, as a dictator, so to speak, without a dictator in terms of his word was godly command, slowly developed. And they made made a name for themselves. They got to be proud. The people who flock to I am in charge of the corridor. They put a plaque. This guy, they got honor, the rank, hierarchy in the whole organization. So here, nothing wrong so far with it. And in fact, the Torah later said that following such a endeavor, mankind can accomplish anything. Especially, they said, well, let us build for us. The sense that you build for yourself, that you make yourself important, that actually charge you with the energy, with the commitment. Nimrod knew that if you allow them to make a name for themselves in the tower, it will be built. So what then was wrong? First of all, let's see the name, Nimrod. The name Nimrod now, as the tower go up taller, the name Nimrod changes name. Nimrod means let us rebel. So what does it mean, Nimrod, let us rebel? The rabbi said they offer few options. Nimrod can mean let us rebel against nature. It's a good explanation. We are powerful people. We build NASA. We build rocket. We build spaceship. We rebel against nature. We're strong. This star will reach the sky. That's one explanation. Let us rebel against God, not in terms of idolatry, as people think, but in terms of let us reach the tower up to the sky. Let this tower belong to us. Let God let God stay above the tower, and we are here. God, let us alone. Leave us alone now. This is our endeavor. We will see that explanation, that claim is the basic of what Abraham was fighting against. We own it, and you leave us alone. And if we own it, we can do everything we want. That's the basic notion. Leave us alone, God. So I'm staying away from all the explanation of monkeys and donkeys and they put on leave this midrashing alone. I'm trying to stick to the simple understanding that I understand in my 21st century mind. And the text says, let us. So God, leave us alone. Nimrod. I will rebel against you in terms of leave us alone. And another explanation of rebel is based on what happened. I don't know if you have time, maybe a few minutes. As the tower go up, taller and taller, the accident became more and more often prevalent. People fell from the 10th floor. The problem was, let us rebel. Let us rebel. Another explanation, let us rebel. Nimrod inciting them as it became harder and harder Nimrod incited in them a rebellion mood. It is difficult, but we will overcome. Military language, we will fight for it, we will overcome. Let us rebel. That's another explanation. And now we move to another meaning, when people fail, and and his friends lamented him, but they didn't lament him. They lamented the lost brick of the tool that fell down to the ground with him. So they didn't care much about the individual, as much as a failure in the load of the day. They would not finish what they should have accomplished in the day because the guy fell. And he took with him all our tools and everything. Oh, wow, what did we do? Nobody cried for the man. And that is why it says, and Hashem descended, Hashem, Yud-Heh-Vav-Keh, ascended to look at the city on the top. This anxiety, this cruelty, indifference, incited merciful attribute to come down and say, oh, just a minute. And she said, I know that you can accomplish everything. You have one language, and you have one unity, you have one leader. I know you can, you can, bravo, slap my head, you can accomplish everything. But what have you done? What, you turned to be cruel animals, cruel people? And didn't Noah taught you, to teach you? That cruelty is not what I like. Didn't Noah tell you that cruelty is forbidden? Number 7 commandment. Why are you ignoring the agony of the person? She didn't like it, so she finally intervened, mumbling their languages, cutting off his communication power. He issued memos, they couldn't read it. They complained to him about something, he couldn't understand them. Very soon the whole line of command was broken and they dispersed, to make the story short. And the tower fell, abandoned. It was abandoned, finally fell, and he lost his kingship. There are many stories about how he died, and maybe there are different Nimrods. That's not our topic today. But the main thing is what? Mankind discovered the power of organization. He fell, his tower fell, destroyed, people dispersed, languages, develop different languages, but they remain one thing. One thing was as a heritage from Nimrod, the power of organization. Now each nation could build its own social level, own tower, own powerful tower, by establishing a society based on not voluntary force, but slaves. They discovered I can build the same tower based on slaves, on captivity. Rome can build beautiful ships in the Mediterranean based on poor slaves spending all their life in the bottom of the ship. So I can build beautiful society with art and science based on slaves. So that was the legend or the legacy of it remained after the fall of the tower, leading to organized empires, moving around with armies, stealing stealing land and people for slavery, organized theft, into which Abraham was born. Okay, so in short, this is a story. So this is a necessary step to understand Abraham's fight and Abraham's society and what is organized theft. Okay, and with this we learn the issue of ownership. Ownership can be by different level. We produce, very important, all that we play a role in later on in Abraham. What is legal ownership and what is illegal ownership? A big issue in Abraham life and can we build, are we allowed to build a tower and say it's us, not to you, God? Can we say that? Are we allowed to say that? Everything belongs to us and not to you? That is the main question that Abraham addressed. But we cannot say that. We cannot say that something belongs to us and not to God. Because God is the owner of everything. Why is the owner? Because he made us, he created us. And the basic premise of ownership is produce. Since God made us, he is the owner. He owns everything, so you are owned. And new empires will roam around stealing people as if there is no owner on the world. You are owned. There is an owner here. You ignore him, we'll talk about it. Okay, any question?